Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hearthstone. We're almost to the point when the new expansion is available, so we can look at the new Kobolds versus Catacombs cards. To do that, you go into crafting mode, click up here to filter just to the Kobold cards, and for good measure, click on include uncraftable cards just so we can see them. Last time we looked at the Paladin cards, so at the end of this point we will be halfway through looking at the hero cards, and then at the end we'll look at all the neutral cards and see how neutral cards synergize with all the other cards. So this time we're going to look at priest cards. First one we have is a 1-mana spell called Psionic Probe. Copy a spell in your opponent's deck and add it to your hand, so a very basic card steal ability for a priest. Not something I thought priest was going to have an ability to ever do. I thought they were keeping card steals only for the rogue character, but I guess now they're expanding it out a little bit. Next we have a 3-mana 0 attack 3 durability legendary weapon called Dragon Soul. After you cast 3 spells in a turn, summon a 5/5 dragon. This is interesting because this is the second weapon I've seen that has 0 attack, so I imagine with 0 attack you can't actually attack with it, and it just becomes a weapon that stays on your side of the field forever until you play another weapon or it gets destroyed by your opponent. Casting 3 spells in the turn. If you played this on the 3rd turn, say you actually had this card in your deck, which I imagine not very many people are going to end up getting this weapon that way. I think there's going to be several cards that just show up in the neutral card collection that say summon a random, equip a random weapon. Let's say, so you play this on the 3rd turn though. Say you strategically want this card. You play it on the 3rd turn. Then you would need 3 1-mana spells to play on the 4th turn. Not impossible to do on the priest. I could see that happening, and then it would give you a 5/5 dragon. Now, it would be interesting if you could actually attack with this, even though it has 0 attack, and just like attack a enemy and take damage. I don't think you can though. Previously there have been issues where you had 0 attack and the game has called it a bug if you were able to attack then. But they may have changed the rules behind the scenes and not told anybody. Next we have a 3-mana 2 attack 2 health minion called the Gilded Gargoyle. Death Rattle, add a coin to your hand. I'm not 100% sure that you'd want to play this just for a coin. It seems like a very even card, that if this was just a 2-mana 2 attack 2 health that didn't give you a coin when it died, you might just play that, and you might play that a turn earlier. But if there was a reason you needed a coin, which there may very well be reasons that you need a coin, particularly if you're just trying to cast 3 spells, a coin would be a 0-mana spell to go into that point. So if you have a bunch of things that give you coins, and you play coins to get more mana to play more spells, that has a doubling effect of its effectiveness. Next we have a 3-mana 2 attack 4 health creature called the Twilight Acolyte. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, swap this minion's attack with another minion's. I'm still not really sold on cards that have to deal with holding a dragon, or dragon cards that are supposed to somehow synergize with other dragon cards. I've never seen anybody really make a dragon deck that was so focused on dragons and was also successful. This for a 3-mana spell, and if you just happen to have a deck that ended up with a bunch of dragons, I suppose you'd play this card. Otherwise, I think you'd ignore it and find something better. Next, we have a 3-mana spell called Twilight's Call. Summon 1/1 copies of 2 friendly Death Rattle minions that died this game. This could be an amazingly crazy card because you just kind of don't know. Let's see. If you played Fugen and Stalag, and both of them died, Fugen and Stalag being wild cards that are banned, I'm pretty sure, in standard play. But say you were playing a wild game, you played Fugen and Stalag, they died, their Death Rattle is when one of the other ones has already died, summon a Thaddeus. You would, if those two died, then you played this, you would already on your field have 1 11 attack, 11 health Thaddeus, and then you would get back a, I believe, 7/2 and 2/7 Fugen and Stalag. Well, no, in this instance you would get back a 1/1 Fugen and a 1/1 Stalag, which is fine because then you could kill either the Fugen or Stalag and get a second Thaddeus, and you could kill the other one and get a third Thaddeus. It's pretty crazy. And then you could do that again, since this isn't a legendary card, and get a 5th and 6th Thaddeus. So you're only one short just playing 4 cards to having a board full of 11/11 Thaddeus's. So that's kind of probably the craziest example I could think of where this card could be used, but I imagine people are going to find other uses for this that work just as well. Now, priests aren't super focused around Death Rattle, but that can be worked around. Next, we have a 3-mana spell, Unidentified Elixir. Give a minion +2/+2, gain a bonus effect in your hand. So this is almost certainly a card you would want in your deck if you can play it, because right now at least we don't know what the bonus effects are. So it may be give a minion +1/+1 on top of the +2/+2. It may give a minion poisonous, divine shield, taunt, charge, something completely new. That's one of those cards that we need to play just to figure out what it does. Next, we have a 4-mana, 3-attack, 3-health dragon called Duskbreaker. Battle cry: if you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all other minions. This really helps more than you probably would guess as far as trying to make a dragon deck. Now, I finally found a dragon after several expansions that starts to kind of make some sense. It's cheap, it's not too much expensive. If it didn't have the ability to do 3 damage to other minions, it would just be a 3-mana, 3-attack, 3-health dragon, or just not even a dragon minion. But for that 1 extra mana, you're having the ability to do 3 damage to all other minions, which is a very helpful ability. This one's really a bargain of a card, so I'll probably play that if I can find enough dragons to play otherwise. Next, we have a 7-mana spell called Lesser Diamond Spellstone. Resurrect 2 different friendly minions. Resurrect meaning bring them back to life after they've died. Cast 4 spells to upgrade. Again, Fugen and Stalag come straight to mind. You play this on your 7th turn, you bring back some more Fugen and Stalag versions. You could easily, between this 2 of these cards, 2 of those cards, and a Fugen and Stalag, end up with a board full of Thaddeus's. Next, we have a 7-mana spell called Psychic Scream. Shuffle minions into your opponent's deck. Interesting. Why would there be a reason for that? Shuffle all minions into your opponent's stack. I cannot see a reason why you would want to play this ever. I don't even understand why this would exist. It seems like it's a very expensive version of Vanish that the Rogue has, but it has this penalty of the minions going into your opponent's deck. And it's not like right now, maybe we'll look at the neutral cards, it's not like there's a lot of cards that will hurt your opponent by being in your opponent's deck. The only thing I can think this does, and this might be quite insane to try to play this, particularly on the 7th turn, is there is the ever annoying legendary card of Rydo Jackson that says if you have no duplicates in your deck, refill your health. So you could get an opponent down to 1 mana, they play Rydo Jackson, they're back up to 30 mana. Maybe on the 7th turn you could play this and put some duplicates in your opponent's deck and ruin their Rydo Jackson strategy, I guess. There's also a card that copies your entire opponent's deck into your deck, which I guess that kind of makes sense, but I don't know what the third step there would be to do that. I think this is just only for defeating Rydo Jackson and the few other cards that say if you have no duplicates, do this or that. Otherwise it seems like it's a rather useless card. And finally we have a 7 mana, 6 attack, 6 health Dragon Cult Temporis. Battlecry, your opponent takes 2 turns, then you take 2 turns. Does that mean going forward? Each time you take 2 turns, or just for the next 4 turns? I doubt by the 7th turn, if your opponent can take 2 turns, then you take 2 turns. I doubt at that point there would be many opportunities to see if this continues down that path. And do you get more mana on that 2nd turn? I would assume so. As a crazy legendary, I want to see that in play just to see how that would work. And it's a dragon, so it starts to make more sense. It's a little weird. You have this legendary Dragon Soul, which I like the idea of, and then you have this legendary, which I want to see in play at least. But then that's balanced off by some cards that don't fully make sense. But clearly this is a dragon expansion for the priest, and with some death rattle craziness added. Death rattle craziness that probably can only be used in the wild gameplay and won't have much of an effect in standard gameplay. Well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.